What's up, y'all?
Jumping the gun, dog.
Yo, it's at my radio. We're back
Yes.
for another one.
Yes. And we have a special, hold on. What episode?
129.
129. I said 150 what? What did I
You
say?
said 125.
125? That's what I said.
No.
Episode 129. We got a special guest in the building. You know, it's 305 Day. We got to keep in Miami. A very, very Miami guy. Somebody I personally worked with for many years. One of the best in the game.
A legend in the making.
Legend that I've seen grow. I think I took him on his first out of town gig, and now he's OVO, right? I don't know. We'll get into that.
A lot of things.
We got Rubio in the building.
Is it Rubio? LA Rubio?
LA Rubio.
LA?
Luis Antonio Rubio.
Oof.
That's the government, so y'all know.
LA Rubio.
But that's what, yeah.
Rubio.
Yeah. Luis Antonio Rubio. That's what the LA stands for. People.
I always thought you were just trying to be like LA.
No, everyone thinks that I'm from LA because of the handle, but no, it's my initials. Yeah.
Dope, man. So yeah, bro, thank you for joining us, and yeah, we definitely want to kind of talk about how you got started because I know you're doing a lot of different things now, but I mean, we remember you just doing the DJ videos, bro.
Yeah,
like, you were fucking, especially in Miami, you were like one of the first that like really we could depend on out here.
Yeah, you were doing good quality, quick. I mean, everything I'm naming is shit that most of these guys out don't have. Is like quick turnaround, good communication, and like you be on your shit about getting shit done, you know, and it was good. So,
and the good part was that you could take him to these clubs because he was presentable.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, you're not taking this big fat dude that's wearing like a crusty t-shirt or shows up with his underage friends, or you know what I'm
saying. He always fit in very well. Like he was on point, so that was always dope. But yeah, man. I mean, I know you started. I don't know how'd you start getting into videos. Was it because like you had a knack for a camera, or was it people hitting you up to do the DJ videos, or how did you get in the whole game?
When it came to just videos, I was always doing it as a kid, like skateboarding with my friends, and we would skip school a lot and make really dumb videos of us like knocking on people's doors and like running away, or like just, you know, skateboarding really was like the start of everything for me. Just picking up the camera. My mom also used to film a lot, like birthday parties, and she had a camera laying around, and she kind of like showed me how to use it and how to like, this was on like DV cameras too, like
right.
Like how to play and reverse back, and you could kind of edit a little video straight off the camera. But when it came to like taking it serious, it started to happen after high school. I wanted to be an actor originally. So I started acting, and I was on like music videos. I was on South Beach Toe, like random like little like fucking local gigs.
Yeah, South Beach Toe, come on.
Yeah, if you YouTube
we're gonna pull
South Beach Toe, it's the episode called Made in Miami.
Well, you must have been like what, 17, 16?
I was 18 or 19 at the time when I filmed that episode.
That's so wild. I never knew this.
Yeah. So that's like, so I got out of high school and I'm like, all right, I want to be an actor. Like I was in love with the show Entourage. I kept watching Entourage. That was like my favorite show. I wanted to be Vinny Chase.
A lot of people wanted to be actors, managers, agents, directors after watching that.
Yeah. So that show really like inspired me to like try and get into that industry. So once I was on set of those music videos, I ended up I met this dude named Edgar Estevez. He's like a pretty huge director right now in the game. And I had like a brief moment where he just was like, yo, like you're doing great at what you do, and like he just hyped me up. He was just like gassing me up, and he probably doesn't remember this. Like I don't know him now like that, but seeing him work, I was like, fuck, like I really think this is something that I want to do. Instead of being in front of the camera, I want to be like behind the camera. So from there, that's kind of like where I was like, all right, I'm gonna start filming again and putting my energy into this. And from there, I was like, fucking, can I curse? Is that cool?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, for sure.
Fuck you on, bro.
All right, bet. All right, for sure. And then I was hungry, and I was literally like looking at TV shows that I liked, and I was looking at the credits, and I would look at like editors, and I would look at like producers, and I would literally like Google their name, and I would find their like LinkedIn page and shit, and I would be like, yo, like how did you get into this industry? How did you get started? And like a few of them actually like reached out to me. One of them even called me and like told me how to do this and that, XYZ. And the same way I was emailing those people, I was emailing like anyone who I could think of that like was doing things. Like artists from high school or like DJs. And one of the DJs that I hit up went to my high school. I went to Ferguson, out in West Kendall, and it was this dude named DJ CX. And I didn't.
Young is in charge.
Yeah. And at the time, like I didn't know him personally. I just knew that he was like DJing pep rallies and shit like that. And I was like, yo, like if you ever need like a video or if you need anything photo related, like let me know. Like just like hit me up. And that same day he responded back. He's like, yeah, for sure. Actually, I could use you tonight. And this is probably 2014. It's like 2014, yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna be at Power tonight, because he was still on the radio over there, and he was doing Passion. So he's like, I want to do like a double like video with you. We'll do like Power straight to Passion, which is used to be at the Hard Rock. So we did the radio station, and from there we did a video, went to Hard Rock, and that's where I met Zilla. Zilla was opening for CX that night. And from there, man, it was just like a domino effect. Like I was doing a video for the opener, doing a video for like the headliner, and like the next week the opener wanted me to do a video for him. So like then he had an opener, or there was another headlining DJ, and it just kept like escalating from there. And
Yeah, in those times, like the recap videos weren't really that much of a thing yet.
they're just starting to like.
Yeah, we didn't really have a platform.
Yeah.
You know, Instagram was 15 seconds and you were gonna pay
True,
money.
that's right. It was 15 seconds for the videos back in the day.
So I mean, putting them on YouTube, that kind of didn't really go anywhere. And then, you know, as things kind of came around, I remember like, I mean, it was, and in Miami everything's kind of late. Like people in Vegas and those people, they've been doing those, you know, the what I always clown on is like the bag videos, you know,
like walking into the
yeah,
club,
like,
taking the computer out.
Like, yeah, when you go out, no, I mean, look, there's parts of it, don't get me wrong, but like, when you go to the bar, you go to the bathroom, like, yo, we're going to film a part. Like, you're going to say what's up to me. Like, we haven't talked.
Like a choreographed, like, intro walk.
Like, yo, DJs, please, do all the recap videos, but I just cannot stand.
But back in the day, that shit was dope.
But it was dope. But I'm saying, but even back then, I thought it was corny. But I'm like, but everybody had it. Everybody had it. Like the "To Me Back" shot where you see the name, and then you zoom out, and then it's like you saying hi to the guy, and it's like, yo, we're gonna dab, we're gonna shake, you know, like.
But when you were shooting those, had you ever shot like
Nah.
where you weren't really attached to nightlife or anything?
Nah.
So you were
How was
just
your
like-
editing?
I wasn't even old enough to get into the club at the time. It was like
Nah,
we were
I
busting
remember
a mission.
when we did Hide. Dude.
Yeah, what year was that? That was like 2016 maybe.
Yeah.
I think I just turned 21 that
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
But it was always a mission to get me in. They had to like get me pre-approved because I was still 19.
You were when we started working out.
I was
think
20.
You were 20, and I
Yeah.
remember when you turned 21, because we went in Atlanta. Were you 21? No, right?
What year was that?
I don't remember.
That must have been the same year, if not 2015. I think it was 2015 going into 2016 because it was like January or February that
Yeah,
we
it was
went.
the beginning of the year.
So I might have just been turning 21 then in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that's true that trip was my first trip like ever being flown out like and getting
flew
paid.
you out, bro. I flew you out, bro.
I was a fly out. Yeah, I was your fly
I
out.
flew you out, bro.
Is that when you were like, damn, like I could? Do
No,
this
that
shit?
was like the first time that I was like, shit, like this camera's really, it could take me places, like,
Literally.
like for real. And the same way I was saying earlier, like how when you have a gig, like you're usually working with someone, and then once you get to the gig, you meet someone else. And then I met EU,
Oh.
and that escalated into another fucking incredible opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You did Tomorrowland with him, right?
yeah, I don't know if it's Tomorrowland or World.
The big one. The original.
Whichever
one.
one's the one in Belgium.
Tomorrowland is Tomorrow World was a US
Is
one.
the Atlanta one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to fucking Belgium with EU and spent like a few days out there. Awesome experience. First time out of the country, I think at that point. No, first time in Europe for sure. But it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I
like,
remember, like,
camera's a passport for me. Like,
he
literally.
started getting so busy, dude. Couldn't get him.
Well, I took
anywhere.
him after Atlanta. We went to Nicaragua, and I remember being in Nicaragua, and this dude being like, I mean, we've been around, like, you know, as y'all hear, he's very like, he wasn't tapped into the nightlife, and being in a Latin country where like money's not an issue, where nothing's an issue, right? And like, I remember you were like, bro, like, what is this? Like, you were just like, is this real? Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, Nicaragua, you get drivers, everything. Like, and he was just like, and it was like 7 a.m, and we're drinking on the balcony, and I remember he was just like, yo, like,
Yeah, it was very new to me. Like I was being introduced to a lifestyle that like I low key was manifesting my entire life and like seeing it happen in front of me. It was like I think there I was just very like wow, like this is really fucking happening. Like I'm in another because like the house we stayed on was baller too. I remember like the whole neighborhood was like a brand new like community and like I think there wasn't even
they
AC
literally have
unit.
finished the
Oh, and there was only cold water in
yeah,
the
they literally
thing.
finished building that house like a week before we got in there, and it was on the top of a hill, and you could see the whole town. Like I mean, and then we had a driver, you know, got a little.
Yeah, I mean, I had like my aunt. There's a scene in Entourage where they're literally looking over like L.A. and like Vinny's like, yo, like I think E is like dealing with some girl issues, and like Vinny's like, bro, like look where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? Like look at the view, and like I had one of those moments because I remember we could go to the roof of the building, and I was like, damn, like. Because you could see like that Jesus fucking statue in the distance. Right. The ocean was right there, and like it kind of had the LA vibe until the power would go out randomly in the city. That's another thing. Nicaragua, the power will shut off in the entire fucking city. I'll never forget eating dinner with you, and we're fucking vibing. Everyone's eating, and boom, all the lights turn off. Like
and nobody flinches. Though.
No one. Everyone just keeps going on with their dinner. And
the flinches, you take out your phone and you kind of eat like this. You know?
Yeah, that was New Year's.
New Year's like
going to 2016, I think.
Yeah, probably like 5-6 years ago.
So that's really when you like had that another click in your head, like
right, and that same trip too, like when it came to like my family, like seeing what I was doing, like. My mom was always like, we got to do school, you know what I'm saying? Like, school's the thing. And that trip was like the trip that, like, when I got back home, I remember I got picked up by the airport by my stepdad. And he was like, man, like, you're really doing this, huh? Like, you're really fucking, like, traveling and getting work off a camera. And, like, it hit me, too. I was like, yeah, like, I am. Like, this is totally possible, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't think I would get to that point. And I was so early in like, my career, I guess. But...
That's crazy. I never thought about that. Like those times my parents would pick me up from the airport from coming from a gig. Yeah. Like they must have been like, yo, what the fuck is this kid doing?
That specifically, that trip getting picked up, I'll never forget that ride home and him being like, wow, bro. Like, because he didn't even know where I was coming from. Like, he didn't know where I was. Like, I just left Nicaragua. Like, and he's like, man, like, that's crazy that you're really doing this. And I was like,
so you got out of high school and you just went straight into making videos, pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do, like, in high school I was doing design and architecture. That was like the major that I was doing. I wanted to originally be an architect, and as soon as I graduated, I was like, I want to do acting. Acting was like I had headshots. I like got my headshot. Dude. Literally, Entourage like really fucking inspired me to like tap into that world, and yeah, I guess by the time I was 19, 20, like we were saying, like I was already doing video. I wasn't even old enough to get into those clubs yet. So yeah.
But you got like thrown right into the fucking wolf den of nightlife. But I mean, you still are, and you're a pretty laid back, chill guy. Like, how was that? Like, you're not even used to this whole DJ life, fast life, nightlife shit, and you're just like thrown into it. And then from like literally that you said the first gig to like. Then you're doing Atlanta, Nicaragua, Tomorrowland. Like, how was that adjusting to that lifestyle of just?
I was loving it, man. I thought it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no complaints. Like, I was being introduced to amazing people, and just I kept moving forward. Like everything was just forward, like momentum. You know what I'm saying? Like I was starting to understand myself more and like. Be comfortable in uncomfortable situations that I would have been uncomfortable in, and like I'm grateful for it all, man. Like it really molded me into like who I am today, and like how I'm able to communicate and get business done. Like it's all been trial and error through years of just getting to where I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe networking is huge, and like if you're in a room, like I take advantage now. You know what I'm saying? Like I do it in my own way and maneuver in my own way and talk my own way, but you know, closed mouths don't get fed. Like I really like. I feel like I'm like a light wherever I go. Like I like somehow attract that energy too. Like it's no coincidence like where I am today because of everything that I've done. I've seen a lot of people in the game who have come and gone. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not doing it no more because they just weren't like built for it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be built for like this lifestyle, like for real. Like so, I have no complaints. I'm grateful for it all, and I'm super excited for whatever else is to come. Like. I feel like everything that I've done up to this point is just me like planting seeds, and like they've been growing over the years, and like I'm gonna be able to utilize like all those connections that I've made over the years. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna work to my benefit somehow. I don't know how, but like I know they are.
That's the best mindset to have because like you know I've been talking to a lot of DJs in our world. Everything's shifted, and like like in our world, like the people that were down here that were trying to get up here with jumping all this shit, now we're even lower. Everybody else that kind of organically grew, everybody grew together, and like planting those seeds eventually comes back around. Like heavy.
Yeah, when you get older, you realize that like maybe you think it's like a wasted opportunity or something, but you never know down the line when something might come back around, or that person you met, or you run into that person across the street, or they vouch for you on this and that, and like, bro.
Yeah. Even to like saying no to things. Like I used to say no to a lot of things, and obviously like I'd kind of like think about what it is I want, like whether it be a gig or it be an opportunity. Like there's things that I would turn down because I was like, oh, I don't see like a point in that. Like I don't really. But there are times where I'm like, I'm just gonna go and like feel it out. At the end of the day, it's still an opportunity. Like, and I get paid to do it. But and like people would be like, oh damn, like that's kind of bougie. You're turning down paid gigs and shit. But it's like, nah, like those gigs, like you never know who the fuck you're gonna meet. You know what I'm saying? Like I have literally moments in my life that were pinnacle, like pivotal movement, like changes in my life off of me being like, I'm just gonna fucking go. You know what I'm saying?
Something inside of you felt like,
just like I'm just gonna go do this, and you never know, like one moment just changes everything. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ever like that movie Yes Man. I guess what's that with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Like that whole idea of just saying yes to everything. I guess like.
There's a lot of power in saying no.
Yeah.
But so, you were saying no early on, because usually...
I mean, there was a lot of things that I was just like it doesn't make sense for me to do it. And then I realized that kind of was like limiting me in a sense. Like, so I just started trying to do as much as I can, obviously with not overwhelming myself. But it just took like a specific moment in my life that happened that I was like, I got to just keep going and not saying no to things. And even if it's not me presently going, like I'll send someone who I trust to go do it, and still keep my name on there and be able to keep my name alive,
Yeah, because usually, I mean, that takes a lot of self-awareness early on to be like, nah, I don't think this is something that is worth me going. Because usually it's like in the beginning, you're like, which is a problem everyone has, and even DJs too, is like you say yes to everything because you're just like hungry, grinding.
Yeah.
And then people might take advantage of you.
Yeah.
True.
And then later on, you got to learn like, all right, is this really worth my time?
It comes a time, and then I had a younger DJ hit me up recently, and they're like, oh, what should I do? And I'm just going to be like, yo, like, get off the tit. Like, you're so comfortable doing this that you think that because you're doing this, you're good now. Like, get out of your comfort zone and, like, step into the world and take those risks. Because you keep saying yes to what works. Cool. But, like, say no to that and grow from it, And it's a big... I think you got to be an adult. You got to not look at the money then, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm looking at just, like... how is this gonna benefit me in a few years, or like just longevity and like what I'm doing, So obviously I'm able to pick and choose now more of what I want to do, but I'm very open to either like outsource someone or subcontract someone to do something. Like I said, still have my name alive in the project somehow related. But yeah.
So from 2016 to let's say like pandemic, like. What was 2016 to 2020? What were you doing? You were moving. I mean, that's when we couldn't even afford you anymore. I was already into that. But after we worked and everything, you kept working. You kept working with CX a lot. If you want to let everybody know,
well, you kind of ventured off the DJ for a little bit, right?
I've worked with a lot of different DJs out here. There's probably a few that I haven't maybe, but like big names too, like from. It's like a big name out here. Who would you say is a big DJ?
I know, bro.
You gotta give us your catalog.
You already.
I don't know. Bro. Miami, almost everyone I would say like that's like known. You know what I mean? Like who's out here? I don't know.
When they listen to this, they're gonna be like.
I mean, you work with. I'll start naming people that I know you work with. You work with Mauricio. I mean, like you said, CX. You work with me.
I've worked with Laz. I've worked with Conflict.
Yeah,
Obscene.
Pretty much all the Rockwell guys.
CX.
Alex Sensation.
I've done Alex. I've worked with Alex Sensation before at the AAA when it was still the AAA. I was in a room with him and Mark Anthony. It was like his birthday. It was super random. Like filming that was cool. Shit. A lot of different. It's a lot, man. Like there's times where like I look at my catalog and I forget that stuff even happened.
Of course.
Like to be real with you, but. from there, music videos, a lot of music videos. Mauricio actually produced some record for Rick Ross. I was able to direct a music video for him with Yo Gotti and Troy Ave.
Was that your first music video?
Nah, I was always shooting music videos like in the midst of all the club stuff. Like that's always been like another huge passion of mine is music videos for sure.
That was always to me like the wild shit because like we'd go to Mansion, you know, we go to like other
Fuck, see,
clubs.
like I forget it that we even did. I completely forgot.
Yeah, we did Mansion. We did Mansion, bro. Remember when I got sick?
Yeah, that was that. It was like the night that I went there.
Dude, I got fucking food
got food
poisoning.
poisoning.
I got food poisoning like mid set.
You
Yeah.
filmed that or what?
I wish it was footage.
I
think we had
there's
finished
footage
filming.
of it. No, there's footage of you like
Throwing up, like
not throwing up, but you're just going through it like while you're DJing.
dude. So we'll find that video. It's literally like me. I was opening for Irie. If it would have been like me opening for like even 5 or Deluxe, and they would have seen me like that, they would have been like, "Yo, like, all right, man, like we'll get off. You know, we'll play earlier, whatever." And dude, that's y'all know me, bro. I'll go to a gig. I'll be like in my deathbed, and I'll be like DJing. But dude, I was mid gig. It just hit me, and I remember like I played a house song and it was on the drop and I ran to the bathrooms in the back and I like opened the door, the dark ass, remember the dark ass bath, bro. I remember like throwing up thinking that I'm aiming at the toilet, but it was like
The side.
at the side and everything, and I was just, and I heard the song going and I'm like cleaning the shit. I get like a 20 out, I tip the guy a 20, I go back. I was literally playing songs and going back to the bathroom.
Wow.
Was it with you that were you opening for Dimitri Vegas? Was that you?
No, this was for Irie. And
But I'm saying that wasn't that same night because
Nah.
I only recall going to Mansion twice. And that was
Yeah.
with you, and I filmed Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike. Is it Like Mike? Yeah.
Nah, yeah, but that one time
See,
with
that's
me,
another name that I completely forgot that I filmed, but I filmed them at, they contracted me to do that that club.
So, I mean, bro, that gig to me is, I was calling Obi, I was calling Chris Valencia, I was calling everybody, and everybody was, and Devel was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm fucking dying." And we walked out to the store, got a Gatorade, sat down on a curb. I think that's what you have. Like, I'm sitting down in a curb, dude. I'm like the worst. I drink the orange Gatorade. As soon as I'm drinking, I throw it back out.
If only you had Prime, dude.
Dude, if I had
Only
Prime
had
back then, if I had Prime back then, bro. Psh. But yeah, so that was I just sidetracked with that. But yeah, so what I was getting at is like you were shooting us in the club, and then you'd be like, "Yo, look at this video I'm shooting," and it was like the hoodest motherfuckers in the world.
Yeah.
Dude, you were shooting like,
Dude, I've been in some sketch situations, man.
I feel like a lot of video
It's
directors
definitely a
start
thing.
off
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the hood.
Yeah.
Shit.
I've been in all the hoods out here: Liberty City, Coconut Grove, Palm Beach, Sunrise. Like every hood out here, I feel like I've been in the midst of like some crazy ass shit. But yo, build character, man. Like it's like I'm able to deal with all walks of life.
No,
with
it's
people,
awesome.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not a
From
bad-
being in like the trenches, the hood of, and then being in like multi-million-dollar mansions, like shooting.
Have you ever gotten like kind of someone try to strong arm you or like not pay you, and you're like in the middle of the
Yeah,
road?
I had during the pandemic, I had this one dude like really fucking like try me, and I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to get my payment. Like, why are you being so fucking difficult? But he was one of those characters who was just like doped out, bro. Like, he was just off so many different drugs, and like, I think it was a lot of Xans and perks. And when you're on those things, like they kind of make you really like irritable and like not like clear-minded.
Right.
And I didn't take it personal. I ended up getting paid, but it was just a lot of back and forth bullshit, like dealing with hood bullshit, like literally. But
was he trying to pay you on like cards? Like, hey,
no, it was always all cash with those guys. It was all cash.
Cash money.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
So from the videos to everything else, you kept going. I mean, you already know where I'm getting to. So if you want to,
Yeah, how'd you start getting into like different lanes of like people hitting you up, like celebrities and
like the Roy Woods? How did the Roy Woods connection come?
The Roy Woods goes back to kind of like what I was saying about like saying no to something and me being like, you know what, just following my intuition and be like, I'm gonna just go. Like, you never know. It was Art Basel, like 2016, and I was already working like 4 gigs in one day, like on one specific day of Art Basel. And funny enough, CX hit me and he's like, bro, there's this party tonight at the W. It's hosted by, it's like an OVO like hosted thing, and Drake's supposed to be there tonight. And at the same time, like in that time, I was already like pretty much like resident video guy at the W on Thursdays. So like everyone in the front like kind of already knew me. So it wasn't a matter of like me just showing up and like having to get pre-approved to go in. It was just like, oh, that's Rubio. He's good. So I ended up going to this party, and it's like all OVO, like Chubbs, Roy Woods, like TV Gucci, all those dudes. So I'm in the club, and somehow I like managed to get into a section there. Oh, Rick Ross was there that night as well. Young Jeezy. There was a bunch of names in there, and I got into a specific section, and I'm with my camera and I'm filming like whoever's in there. And at the time, I didn't know who Roy Woods was, like what he looked like. I've heard his music before, but I didn't know what the face looked like. So I'm filming, and whoever was in that section is just super vibing with me. They love being on camera. They're comfortable. And one of the dudes there is just like, yo, like, let me get your number so that way I could grab all this footage. And that ended up being Roy's manager or tour manager. And that was that. I didn't think anything of it. And then fast forward 2 years later, I get a random text. We're in 2018 now. And it's from that same dude, the tour manager. He's like, hey, we're going to be in Miami for the Scorpion tour. And if you're available tonight, like, it'd be awesome if you can come film Roy at the club and then Roy at the show. Like pretty much just like a double whammy video. And I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, let's do it. And then funny enough, Drake ends up getting like food poisoning, and he gets sick. So like the show in Miami was canceled. Like there was like the first time he was supposed to be here, it got canceled, and they're like, yo, we're still gonna do the club. So if you want to film the club, like, you can come ride with us. So I ended up filming at Club 23. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Is it 23?
Yeah, 23. Or
no, it was Exchange. It was Exchange.
Okay.
That's what it was. We were at Exchange. That's on Washington, right?
Used to be Dream.
Right. So we go to Exchange, and that was like the first time I really met Roy, and like the vibes were just awesome. Like he fucked with me. He was comfortable. I was able to get a lot of him like out on camera and stuff like that. And that's another thing that I think is a reason why I am where I am. Like, I'm able to, like, I just have chemistry with most people. Like, they just feel cozy and comfortable, like, talking on like, I get it out of them. Like, they're not like timid. They're not awkward, like you said. Like, they're just able to, I get the best out of them. So that way, when I go back to edit shit, like, it makes my life easier. So whatever. That night finishes, and I literally like went straight to the crib, and I edited the video, and I was ready to go like by the morning. And they loved the edit, and from there they're just like, yo, like, you want to stick around for the rest of the tour? And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, let's fucking ride, dude. Like,
yeah, and like the quick turnaround and everything.
Yeah,
like,
that's really important.
That's the shit that goes way further.
Bro, people around you be getting food poisoning though, bro. You sending some pizzas and shit, or
two for two on the food poisoning.
You know that flu game where they say that the
pizza, somebody sent the pizza.
Someone sent the pizza to Jordan or some shit.
Oh no, I didn't see that, but Drake needed some prime that day. But
so you started working with Roy Woods and the OVO crew, and then where did that lead to?
So that led to me being like a tour videographer with them, and I just went to all of the rest of the cities on the rest of the tour, and that led to a bunch of new connections, different artists that I met, and eventually they're like, oh, like, can you direct music videos? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, send me the music, and I'll create like a concept for it. So from there, I was able to direct like 3 music videos with Roy under OVO, like, and that led to another opportunity, meeting another artist in Toronto that I was able to travel with all over fucking Europe. Like, literally, we did like 4 different spots in Europe, and just making music, being in the studio, covering like everything that's happening, shooting music videos while on the road, and yeah, like, just domino effect, man. Like, one thing leads to another. And
what was it like being on that tour life? Like,
it was amazing.
Acclimating to that.
It was fucking amazing. I love tour life. I love being on the road. I love working, meeting new people. It's very inspiring to me. That's really what keeps me like going. Like, being on the road, there's nothing like it. I don't know, just like that creative flow, that creative juices are always rolling. You're always meeting, like I said, new people, and it's awesome.
You didn't feel like it was repetitive?
Nah, it wasn't. It was just like, that was like how you were saying, like when I was in Nicaragua and I was like kind of like absorbing everything that was happening. Like, I was just living and being in the moment while I was on tour. Like
Right.
it was everything was just awesome, bro. Like I had a writer, not a writer, but like I had per diem like for every day. So we got food every day. Like we were checking into new hotels and like, you know, there's after parties every single show. Like it was great. Like,
OVO
you know,
life, bro.
it was fucking great, man.
OVO life.
Yeah.
So
That's
you've
fire.
just been
Super
like living that life since literally out of high school, though. Even when it was a small level, but then eventually, gradually.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I did in my past life or whatever, but
So-
I believe in manifesting. Like
Yeah.
for real, like that shit. Like I knew when I was a teenager, like I kind of had an idea of like how I wanted to live, even to like how I looked. Like I always kind of had that idea, and obviously like hard work beats talent. Like
Yeah.
so, I knew that I was grinding. I was always out, and I'm always connecting and networking and doing those like late night turnarounds to have it in the morning, like however, and like
Yeah, that shit is extreme. Like the
It's
link,
a
the
lot.
turnarounds, and I always see it. Like when I see your shit, it's like, damn, this was 2 days ago. I'm like, this was yesterday.
You don't, my bad. You don't like burn yourself out though, sometimes, or
yeah, I could say that I do for sure, but I don't know. Perspective for me is so big. Like I'm like I get to do this. Like you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Like I don't have to do it. Like I really get to do this. Like it's a blessing. So like obviously I'm really big on like self care and like mental health, and these days more than ever I do what I can to like make sure my mind and my head is in the right place. And so yeah, it's just a balance. You know what I'm saying? Everything's a balance for me.
because when you're young, you just go nonstop, balls to the wall, and then you
Yeah.
kind of lose that balance. So it's like you gotta kind of
Yeah, I've definitely been able to like recalibrate now and know what's good for me. You know what I'm saying? Like before I was still young. I'm still super hungry, and I'm still like I feel like there's a lot to go, but I don't know. There's a Lil Wayne interview where he's talking like, yo, like I believe like in your 20s you're supposed to or not even your 20s, just like when you're young, like while you can, like just go fucking hard, you know what I'm saying? And then when you get to a point obviously like where you can't go as hard as you can anymore, like, you know, take it down a notch, but I'm still fresh. I'm still going. Like I'm still working till 5, 6 a.m. watching the sunrise while I'm on my computer editing. Like literally.
yeah. A lot of people say that like in the 20s, early 30s, like kind of go as hard as you can. So then the next 25 to 30 years are like
Yeah,
you're setting yourself up to not work smarter.
Exactly. Like I'm super excited from like my 30s. Like I think my 30s are gonna be incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like my 20s, like I was saying earlier, planting those seeds, like for whatever it is that I'm gonna set myself up for in the future. All those seeds are gonna be grown, and like I'm gonna be able to utilize them, and like I don't have to make as many connections as I did when I was younger. Like they're already gonna be there. It's just
Yeah, you realize that people grow too. So like those connections, you know, like I said earlier, those connections that you made is like the good ones. I mean, the good people that move right are also growing as well too. So like
exactly.
you're gonna keep growing and growing and growing, and
Everyone else like is growing too. They got things going on, and they'll be like, yeah, Rubio, he was there around in the beginning, like, and he's still doing his thing, and he's at a higher level. I'm at a higher level, like, and it's all family at that point. Like it's just
yeah, people see it. Like I've you know, I always correlate shit, but I've worked with people recently that I haven't worked with that know what I've been doing, and like, yo, like they've seen me do my shit, they've been doing their shit, and now we're kind of like, you know, because we realize like everybody's kind of moving together, you know, like everybody's moving in the same direction.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you, one of the Roy Woods videos that you did over the pandemic.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that, and then we'll show clips of it, because I thought that was one of the main things that I kind of wanted to bring up, and like how you did this during the pandemic and you put it out during quarantine and everything. So
yeah, we did 2 videos during quarantine, and the way that pretty much worked was they send me the music, I listen to it, I come up with the concept, and then the label approves it, gives us a budget, and I literally did everything through FaceTime, man. I had a team out in Toronto who shot it, and I directed it from my phone, and we just made it work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the green screen one, right?
we did a green screen one, and we did one that was like out on like the city and shit like that. And I was on FaceTime for everything, like literally like, nah, move this, put that there, like let's get this guy out of the shot, like while I was in bed, like literally.
That's insane. That's insane.
Alright, people be like trying to move mountains and do crazy shit and make things complicated, and like, yo, you could shoot a video.
Yeah, it really showed that like it doesn't fucking matter where you're at these days. Like you could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Just need Wi-Fi and
like, some
iPhone and
creativity.
computer.
Like, cause the concept, like, obviously, I went into like the concept, taking into consideration that like things are closed and I'm not there, and I try to like not make it simple, but make it, you know, understandable to whoever was that was gonna be reading it and taking my direction. So I didn't overcomplicate like the treatment and stuff like that. I'll try and do more work on my end, which was like the post part. Like he mentioned the green screen one, like everything was pretty much on my end, like editing. So
And then they just send you over the final.
and then yeah,
footage
they actually mailed me like a drive, like with all the footage and stuff like
Wow.
that. And yeah,
Damn. So how do you end up from doing like OVO, Roy Woods, and then you're shooting videos for like Jake Paul? Super on the other side of
on the whole other side of the video spectrum.
YouTuber life.
So
like
same way that I was like just being hungry. Like I'm really big into just shooting my shot and shooting a DM. You know what I'm saying? Like you never know, they might open it and read it. And I don't know how I stumbled across one YouTuber's account, and he was doing a lot of stuff with Logan. He was like creating parties, like viral parties. Like he would throw a party with the intention of something happening there that's gonna go viral. So he did one for Logan Paul, and I saw the video that they did of like the recap, and I was like, not that it's bad, but I'm like, I think it could be so much better and for what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this guy, his name's Armani Azadi. Shout out to him. He's huge in Vegas, huge party planner, huge party dude. Like he's the guy out there in Vegas. So I was just like, dude, like this video is pretty whack. Like I think I could do it a lot better. Like real shit. Like you're around all these like super celebrities, and you're creating your resume, and like I just think it should be better. So
you told the video guy, the videographer.
no, I told him directly. Like
Oh.
like I'm like, whoever your video guy is, not that he's bad. Or, I guess I was like, yo, it could be better. So like that same night, he like messaged me back. He's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in Miami. He's like, I'm gonna be in Miami next weekend.
Damn.
So I was like, bet. So this was 2018. Swisher hosted some party. Swisher, like the blunts, yeah. Swisher Raps threw like this big boat party with like every influencer like that you can name. Like Logan was there, Jake was there, Bella Thorne, Chanel West Coast, like random people like were just there. So I made a video of that, and like I turned it in the same day, same thing. I made it look amazing, and then he leaves Miami. He's like, oh, I'm going back to Vegas. Like, and this is around like 4th of July too. He's like, I'm throwing this huge 4th of July party with, I think it was like Tristan Thompson. He's a basketball player or something like that.
Right.
And he's going to be hosting. It's like his birthday. Logan's going to be there. Jake's going to be there. We're going to have like a fucking, like that old school, you know, that movie Old School where like chicks are like wrestling and like fucking whipped cream and shit.
Yeah.
Like he had that at his crib, a slide, all that. So he's like, do you want to come to Vegas and shoot that? And I was like, yeah, let's go to Vegas, man. So I ended up staying at his house, and that's where I ended up meeting like Jake Paul officially. And that was around the time that the guy who I'm talking about, Armani, was like trying to get into the whole Jake Paul scene. He ends up getting invited to like live at his house, at Jake's house. And that's where I just tagged along and went over there and stayed at Jake's house for like a month and a half. Just
What was that like?
It was great. It was really cool. I stayed at the house in Calabasas. Every single day there was always something going on at the house. He was like really training like for boxing at that time. It was kind of like a joke at first, but like I could tell he was like taking it super fucking serious. Like there's always trainers there. He was always in the gym training. And
So you were documenting the like.
I wasn't
the game.
documenting necessarily him. I was documenting the dude who like I went out there with, Armani.
Oh, I got you.
So like we were always doing like little side stuff. Like he's really big on graffiti too. Like he has like a team of graffiti artists that he'll bring like around everywhere. And like those artists painted the house and shit like that. Like there's a bunch of murals of different stuff that are his artists.
Early on, they had like, or I don't know. I know they still do that, but like those houses, like a lot of influencers lived in them, and they would
there's
just
other
collaborate
influencers.
and
Yeah,
work. And
pretty much. It
do
was just
shit
like a
every day.
cloud house. That's like
Cloud house.
That's literally what it was. Like just a content driven house. Like every day, like TikTok was just starting to pop off too. Like we were doing TikToks every day, coming up with like creative ideas to do TikToks. And also I was taking photos of the other people. I was always meeting people there too, like constantly. Like people would be coming in and out of that house. Like it was an experience for sure.
Damn, dude. So you were there
Yeah.
on the early days of that whole
Yeah, I was there for
phenomenon.
when he like the biggest one was the wedding when Jake got married to Tana Mongeau. Like I was there for that wedding. I covered that whole like the whole wedding.
What was
When
that
like a
like?
fight broke out, it
Like
was like it was a
this
fight.
whole because I mean, especially early on, that world was very like superficial
It was
YouTube
very
like
cringy. It
character.
was super
Yeah,
cringy to
Like
me.
everybody was act. It was like
It's all an act. Yeah, it's, I
Right.
mean everything was exaggerated. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's the
Like
word. Yeah.
like even to the wedding, like that was all just a huge exaggeration just to like bring virality. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
was that like sometimes you're in those environments and you're like, bro, what am I doing here
Like
filming?
you separate like the job from the person, or like what's the
Because you know when you're doing like music videos or DJ shit, you're like you could be like, oh, you know, this person's like grinding like me. I'm helping them out. They want to show that, you know, what they're doing to the world, this and that. But when you're like doing like a weird YouTube reality wedding, like welcome to my channel, guys.
yeah. I mean, it all goes back to like that whole perspective that I was like, man, like I get to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like there are times where I'll be like, what am I doing? Like this is kind of cringe, but it was all an experience, bro. Like I feel like they're all moments that I'll never get back, and like I'm super grateful for them because they've brought me great clients and great connections. You know what I mean? So
right?
I'm grateful for it all. Like I think it was an awesome experience, and I don't
That's
know. It
dope.
could have been worse. Like it could have been something like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could have got into like the like what are other, there's so many different categories in video of like things that you could be doing, and I don't know. I had fun doing it all. I was getting paid to have fun, like literally, like, and watch
best.
funny shit happen. Like, yeah, I'm happy with all the decisions that I made. It's gotten me to where I am today, and
That's awesome, bro.
yeah.
I remember I DJ'd a private event. It was like a bar mitzvah / birthday party at Wall, but they had me the DJ, and then they had like this influencer. I don't even know if he exists.
As a DJ,
No. He was
As
just
a guest.
like
Oh,
they
okay.
just had him host because it was for 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and bro, it was the cringiest thing I've ever seen. But I was like, I mean, I guess they probably paid him a freaking couple racks to just come and like hang out with the kids, but like it was mad like weird because I had never seen this guy, but to them it was like the biggest star ever.
you don't remember who it was?
Nah, I don't. And he had like a girlfriend. He was like a vlogger type dude, and he had a song.
All these
out.
vloggers too are like becoming DJs. Like
Yeah,
I worked
yeah.
with this chick named Charlie Jordan, and she was pretty much like an IG, you know, model, and she was just modeling and shit like that. And now she's headlining at 11 and like headlining at different clubs in Vegas. And I'm like, influencers are like the new celebrities right now. It's
Pretty
interesting.
much. I mean,
Like, you know,
they're accessible and people.
it's like Paris Hilton. And Paris Hilton, you know, she was on The Simple Life. She was a rich kid, and now she DJs like ultra and fucking huge
She
festivals.
was the original. She was the
The
original,
original influencer. She's like the first selfie. She's actually she's someone else that I've been able to work with, and like she added me on IG. She'll DM me, like I'll DM her when she's in Miami, like, yo, I want to come check you out, and she like
She's
responds.
smart.
She's
very
super
smart.
cool, like super nice.
People don't understand. Like I've seen interviews of her where she's like talking normal, and she's like, "Yo, like."
It's all an act too.
Like, you realize-
she's pretty much a Jake Paul, like of
she said
the
it.
early 2K.
Yeah, she said it like, "Yo, like." I realized that I had a market, I had a niche, and people were eating it up, and I just kept it going. You know, like.
She's awesome. She's cool people.
There's just so many ways now, especially as a creator, to make money that it's like you can kind of pick a lane, but you could get lost in
Can't pick a
lanes
lane,
too.
or yeah, you can
You could.
pick
so
multiple
many.
lanes. So what are you working on now? What's the move for the moment? Like, what are you?
Right now, I work at almost every club here in Miami right now, like bouncing around between 11.
Are you still in house?
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't know. You cut it out. At 11, you were in house for a while, right?
Yeah, I still work with them. It's pretty much me and a few other guys. We have a team there. Shout out to the Media Monsters. That's a production company based out here in Miami, and they pretty much sourced me to go out there with a few other guys and cover the big events. Like we got Nicky Jam this weekend.
Fire.
Other than that, shooting other stuff like directing music videos. I just came back from like a tour right now, from Vegas and Houston. I'm working with another artist called Ko. He's sick.
The homie
Awesome,
Kale, yeah.
awesome artist
We
right
had
there,
we had
and awesome team. Like the whole team behind him is just awesome. Like that's a big thing too. Like when you're traveling and you're on the road with people, like especially if you don't know them, it could be challenging because you're dealing with someone else's energy, someone else's presence, someone else's like vibe, and sometimes that doesn't always mix. You're on the road, you're sharing a room, or like you're in a car together for hours.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you don't know what you're gonna get, and I've experienced that through just traveling with people, and like sometimes like a few days with someone is it's hard. It's not easy. Like like I said, you're dealing with different characters. And this past trip was awesome. Like everyone on the trip, the vibes were just amazing. Like everything was just kosher, fluid, and it was awesome. I had a great time. We were with Crespo. He was at Tao in Vegas and Hayes nightclub in Houston, and what was the one we were talking? What was the Green Light Social in Dallas? Yeah. So he was playing KO's records, and we were just covering that. I had another photographer with me, like taking photos, covering all that, and we were just shooting music videos, like in every city, in Vegas, Houston, and Dallas. We shot 3 different music videos, and working on that.
Dope.
What else?
Dang, you've just been on a nonstop trajectory upwards, bro.
Yeah, it's just been going up. I mean, realistically, sometimes I feel like, obviously there's hills and valleys to this shit, So is it peaks and valleys?
Peaks and
peaks and valleys.
I mean, hills are still low,
Either way, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? There's times that are up, there's times that are down, but like I try and just like keep my mindset like I get to do this like at the end of the day, and I don't ever try to get too caught up with the highs and try to get too caught up with the lows. So I think like mentality is everything. Like that's really what attracts more business for me. Like me being consistent as well. Like, but
you see yourself eventually like maybe starting your own production company or having like a
team?
I mean, Rubios.
I have a team right now. It's not as like solidified as I wanted it to be. But yeah, 100%. I definitely at some point want to start tapping into film. This past year, well, the year just started, but like earlier this year, I had like a really huge moment for me where I was able to like see my work up on like a theater screen. They screened my music videos up in Little Havana at the town theater.
Oh, nice.
So like we had like 40 to 50 people like sitting in the theater watching my stuff, and like it just like really like stamped it from me, like this is really what I'm supposed to be doing.
What was that? Because I saw you posted, I didn't know anything about it. It was just you.
It was a collective of like different artists like showcasing their work. So they had my video up on the screen with like the Roy Woods video, my latest reel that shows like everything, highlighting all my work. And once I saw that up there, and I was standing in the back of the room, and I'm just like watching the back of people's head, like looking at the screen, watching my name up on there. Like I was like, fuck, like if this is possible, like I could really make a movie, like, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it be a short film or something along those lines, but that's definitely like something that I'm striving for. That's going to happen one day for sure. And like that's what I mean by like all those seeds that I planted, like somehow, some way, like there's going to be a seed, or there's going to be a person that's going to really help me, or I'm going to help them like get my film played or funded, or, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just everything plays. God's way of working is just interesting.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely.
You're gonna become the Billy Walsh of Miami, dude.
Billy fucking Walsh, yeah.
Billy fucking Walsh.
Medellin. Literally.
We're gonna make San Juan del Sur, bro, instead of Medellin.
We could, dude.
Yeah,
dude, I'll never forget when I first landed. That was the first time I think out of the country for me. Because you have to land in Managua.
Yeah.
And then we had to drive like an hour or so,
like 2 hours
into what is it?
San Juan
del Sur, yeah. And I'll never forget like driving, bro, and like I saw like half of a dog, like a dead dog. Obviously, it was just half of his body, just like laying on the side of the street, and people are just walking casually by. I'm like, this is fucked.
That's Nika shit, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, all that. It's fucked up. But then you drive through all this poverty, and then you end up in a beautiful town in the middle.
It was like a surf town. It was incredible.
It's a surf town,
I loved it. Yeah.
Going back next month.
Except what was our driver's name? Jose?
Don't know. Carlos.
Dude,
yo, he hits me up on WhatsApp, bro. That's my guy,
yeah,
bro. Yo, we had a driver. First of all, I mean, but when I go to Nicaragua, I've been doing it for 12, almost 15 years. Like, I always ask for everything. I'm like, I want a driver, two flights, like top notch everything, and I take them down. And the drivers always kind of fight. They're like, oh, I want to drive him. I want to drive him because they know that, like, we tip them and we give him clothes, we give him everything. Like,
Hook them up.
We'll hook them up,
Yeah.
but they know that it's like insane 4 nights of like non-stop. Like, you're driving, like, you're picking us up, you're gonna go drop these people off, you're gonna do this and that. And the first day, I don't know if you remember this, but like, we got to the place and you're like, we get to the house, we're putting everything, and you're like, you're like, where's Don Carlos gonna stay? I was like,
He stays in the
in
car.
the car.
Yeah.
I'm like, in the car. You're like, what?
Yeah, he did stay in the car. He was on call. Like,
He was on call. He's
all the time.
always on
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
And then like the second or third day, we're like, yo, where's Don Carlos? Remember how he said that the neighborhood wasn't done building?
Mm-hmm.
He ended up staying in one of the houses, like sleeping in like one of the houses, like
that wasn't even
built.
Yeah,
But dog, at the end of the day, he left with like a Nike hat, like a bunch of T-shirts.
that's a big deal too.
Dude, remember the Nike hat? Like,
Perspective, bro.
yeah.
I remember we had to go. There's no Wi-Fi, and I didn't have my phone even connected to like the
The
international
signal,
call or
yeah.
whatever. And we
Roaming.
would have to go to the restaurant like all the way at the bottom just to get Wi-Fi, just to connect. It was like a 15-minute drive to the restaurant just to get connected. But it was good because I was able to disconnect while I was there too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's the best part.
that was a great trip. Everyone on that trip was awesome too.
Yeah, half of them are still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. But yeah, I mean,
If you got anything else you want to plug or talk about or drop any gems for the up and coming creators, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of creators listening. There's a lot of people that have seen your work.
The message would be like, yo, anything's possible. It sounds so cliche and like so generic, but if you really put your mind to something, man, you could do it and be consistent, and don't be afraid to just put yourself out there. You never know. But I'm grateful for you guys having me on here.
Thank you,
Thank you, brother. Thank you for making time. I know Drake is waiting.
I know OVO playing is fucking right
OVO,
outside.
I know the OVO playing with the
I heard
green.
how that was terrible. I don't know.
The owl.
The OVO.
Is there a noise? Is there an owl noise?
We're butchering it.
I know. Let's just stop.
But yo, put your socials or wherever they can find your work, your catalog.
Check me out on Instagram, Rubio, RUBIOO, 2 O's. And my website, larubio.com. And pretty much everything is linked from there. My YouTube and my Twitter.
You know you're doing it when I just saw you have like another Instagram.
Oh yeah, I have another. That's
where
where I
you
get
know
to.
you're doing it,
That's
bro.
where I get to post like all the filler, the fluff. You know, the stuff that I can't have like clients like going on and seeing like. I think like when you go on someone's Instagram, like it kind of just has like a vibe and an aesthetic to it, and I can't always put everything that I want on there. So Exotar, that's the other one. At Exotar, EXXO.
I thought about doing
TAR.
that. I thought about doing the Killer Cat, like bringing Killer Cats back,
Oh, that's
and then just making that like meme.
That was like a thing too that I heard from an artist management once. They're like, oh, it's good to make like not a fan page, but like a second page that like if people want to just see more of what you're doing, like you have it on there just to have it. And like over there, I'm able to just post whatever the fuck I want and still like channel it through my
worry so much about how
Yeah.
it looks.
Yeah.
exactly. So that's something that I've been trying to do and be consistent with now. And yeah,
I fuck with that. I fuck with that heavy.
Well, yo, thank you for joining us, brother. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me on here and taking the time to talk.
Thank you. Of course, man. You're the fucking man.
Thank you.
Semi radio.
And we out. Peace.
Peace.